The problem originates with Biden. He is the face of the police state. Now, he's a very odd face of the police state because in the title itself, when I mentioned a moment ago, is he home? Normally people who run police states are mentally at least at home. They're there. They know what they're doing. And they're not, bonkers. So they're not like ignorant of where they are, or they can usually tell you their middle name. But I actually mean the phrase "is Biden home" in a different way, not having to do with his cognitive faculties, but rather the following. Here's a statement by Representative James Comer, head of the Oversight Committee. I have obtained 2 bank wires revealing Hunter Biden received payments, this is from China, originating from Beijing in 2019 when Joe Biden was running for president. Joe Biden's Delaware home is listed as the beneficiary address for both money wires from China. So this is the point. The point is that when you send a wire, you designate the amount, you designate the bank, you designate who it's going to, and then there's a home address. What's the residential address to which this money is being sent? Because for security, you don't want money to be going to magical places. This went to a P.O. box over here. This went to, no, you got to say this went to this particular address on this street. And that street turns out to be Joe Biden's home address. Now, defenders of Joe Biden, and there's an attorney named Sams who said, wait a minute, this is no big deal. It was a time of COVID. Hunter Biden was, of course, living at home. He's living with Joe Biden, and if the money is going to Hunter Biden also lives there. Well, what's the big deal? The money isn't going to Joe Biden, it's going to Hunter Biden. Obviously, he's going to list his address, which happens to be the same, at least for the time, as Joe Biden's. The only problem with this line of defense is that it doesn't really work. Why? Because at the time, Hunter Biden was not living with Joe Biden. Hunter Biden was living in California. How do we know this? We know this because Hunter Biden himself tells us this. In his memoir, Hunter Biden goes into his life, what he was doing, where he was living, and he talks exactly about this time period, and he specifies that he was living in California. So in other words, the reason for listing Joe Biden's home address had nothing to do with Hunter Biden living at that address. He was living elsewhere, but sent the money to Joe Biden's home address. Now, there's a lot more developing on this front, and as this impeachment inquiry gets going further, there'll be a lot more to talk about. But I want to highlight one other item, and that is that a letter has now emerged that was written by Hunter Biden to the chief prosecutor in Ukraine. Remember, Joe Biden got the prosecutor named Shokin fired. And after he was fired, he was replaced by another guy named General Lutsenko. And what does Hunter Biden write to this guy? He basically goes, shut down the investigation right now. And the implied threat is that if you don't do that, my dad can get you fired. So this is how power is exercised. This is how the bribery operation works. The bribe was not simply to get Shokin fired. That's the first part of it. And the second part of it is, let's make sure that his replacement isn't another Shokin, doesn't continue the corruption inquiry into Burisma. So here's a line from Hunter Biden. Moreover, it is imperative that allegations of criminal activity made to the media about Burisma and or Nikolai Josensky, this is the guy who's the head of Burisma, come to an end. Hunter Biden, using the influence and name of Joe Biden, who has the administrative authority, just as he did with Shokin to get that guy fired, using his leverage to do the bidding of Burisma in exchange for all the money that was paid to the Biden family. Debbie and I are on a really good health journey, but we still struggle to eat enough fruits, veggies, and fiber, and you know what? That's mandatory. Now, lucky for us, we discovered Balance of Nature, and what better way to get all your fruits and veggies plus fiber than with Balance of Nature? Now, This is Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule, so easy to take. Made from fresh whole produce. The produce is powdered after an advanced vacuum cold process, which stabilizes the maximum nutrient content. And this is Balance of Nature's Fiber and Spice, a proprietary blend of fiber and 12 spices for overall and digestive health. Join Debbie and me. Start your journey to better health right now. Call 800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com. You'll get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code America. Again, it's 800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com. Get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code America.